darkly.
Welcome to the Echoes Darkly podcast, where we try to talk about White Wolf, well, I guess the Onyx Path now, World of Darkness. I'm DJ Allen, and I'm joined physically. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Well, actually, you know what? You go. My co-host
is Sean Kyle Irvin Williams Steele, Lord Supreme, or something like that. Whatever. Ignore me. Onward.
He's got a doctorate in apocalyptics and is not a purveyor of shiny phallic objects.
Symbols, but
Symbols.
Close enough.
I am joined physically in the same room by...
Well, not that joined, but sitting next to...
There's an umbilical cord.
I'm Morgan Imperial Van Vegas, known to such fine podcasts as the High Council of Lime and Long Debunked Dark Green Stuff.
Which we will mention. Dark Green, the Blacksmith
Will come
Chronicles.
up,
Yes.
which is relevant.
I have no idea what any of that is beyond the Lime Lords, and I'm still very upset you didn't invite me to that, but we will get over that.
I didn't know, but you know what? Next time we can do it.
Next time. Anyways, relevant. World of Darkness. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm great. I really missed not doing the podcast last time, but I had way too much going on.
Yeah, the Postal Service, ironically, is brutal.
Well, yeah. Okay. For those here's a quick tangent for everybody.
See, we've barely started, and we've gone off on a tangent. Go on.
We recently, as rural carriers, got a brand new contract. So as part of that contract, the United States Postal Service wants to have a mail count. What that means is they want to physically count every single piece of mail to determine how much we get paid. We get paid on an evaluation basis. So what the Postal Service likes to do is try to make the numbers skew in their direction, whereas we want to keep things where they're at. So we had a mail count training 2 weeks ago. That's where I was. Mail count training lasted an hour and a half longer than it was supposed to. So I didn't get home till like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Because the entire thing is a civil war.
It is, basically. It's management versus us, and it's pretty sad because management in our office likes us. So it's not that they want to get rid of what we're doing.
Yay! So for those of you out there who think you have very, very tough meetings with your vampires and such, go to a postal office meeting. It does not compare.
No, it doesn't. But
Tell that to your prince.
since we weren't on 2 weeks ago, Onyx Path had their announcement, and as everybody knows by now, hopefully because they listened to the Darker Days podcast, because they went through it fairly in depth. No, I'm not.
That's not one of yours.
No, that's not one of mine. Darker Days went through it. Basically, Onyx Path is becoming the brand name to the World of Darkness so that White Wolf can concentrate on other things, i.e. the MMO.
Yeah, in short, I called it.
Yeah.
I really did. This is their way of getting away from CCP and do their stuff.
Yeah.
So, I'm really glad to hear this, and particularly that apparently is working very nicely with CCP on the side. So, don't really have much more to say than that. I'm just really glad we finally got that news, and White Wolf is now its own again. Granted, White Wolf is now a brand name and it's Onyx Path, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to be confused on whether or not we should call this Onyx Path or White Wolf at this point, but I mean...
It's the White Wolf crew, but it's Onyx Path name, so I guess it's interchangeable at this point in time. I don't think people have yet taken to calling it the Onyx Path crew, so I think we can get away with it.
Okay, well,
we'll know when the Dobermans come to our doors breathing fire.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. They haven't used those since Hunter. Anyways. No, seriously, they were talking when Hunter the Vigil was coming out. They threatened NDA people with robotic Doberman that breathed fire, dripped acid from the teeth and everything. I think they need an excuse to use those again. So if they come to our door, we know they found their excuse.
Okay, well, we'll worry about that when it happens.
Yeah.
Now, Morgan is here because we were just finishing a podcast about Doctor Who, which I so evilly left Sean out of, apparently.
That's okay. You suck.
Yeah. But she actually is relevant to the topic because she was one of a 4-member team on Dark Green, the Blackwood Chronicles, which is a Vampire the Requiem podcast, which will be re-released on its own iTunes feed starting October 1st.
Because if I stay on my chair, I'm going to.
All right. Now this was the one where you guys were doing the vampire game, right?
Yes.
Now, what was the story of said game?
Well,
let's cut this a little.
Again.
Okay. From the storyteller perspective, which is me, I tried to at first create a sandbox for everybody. And then from that sandbox, they would kind of go where they wanted to. But each
The
character...
problem was somebody peed in it.
Somebody peed in the sandbox. What I was hoping for...
That's what you're supposed to do in a sandbox.
One of the players, I gave free reign to create any type of vampire he wanted, and I actually gave him kind of a, please try to do this.
Oh God. Oh God.
Well...
I know where this is going.
No. Well, I think that he actually got bored. And that was the problem. That was the problem with him. But basically, the story was, in a nutshell, most of the vampires in the city got wiped out. My quartet came in, and they were trying to figure things out. And then just as one of the quartet became the new prince, the game stopped happening. So there's about 35 episodes that will be released. No, not 35. 25 episodes that will be released every day in October until they're gone. So October 1st to October whenever. Every single day you can hear the actual play. And if you listen after the actual play part where I edited out all the goofy stuff that happens in between, you can listen to all the goofy stuff after the end of credits.
Alright, sounds like a lot of fun. I still can't. You started talking about it, and I just instantly had the visions of, I know exactly where this went wrong, and you hit it dead on. So.
Well, I mean, I've been contemplating running a game through Google Plus Hangouts, but I'm not quite ready to commit to that yet, because I would like to be a player, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, you never actually got a response back from that thread asking for STs on the website, did you?
There were some people asking questions, but I don't think anybody wants to be the storyteller. But if I think that if I just say, hey, I'm going to run a game, I'll have players. That's what I think.
All right, well, to take the load off you, we'll split on that one. So we'll talk after the show and see who wants to take what. Sound fair?
That's great.
All right. Celebratory noise.
I got things banging and all kinds of stuff.
You have stuff banging in the background?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Don't drink that stuff straight, damn it.
Lesson learned. There's your moral of the story, people. Don't drink peppermint schnapps straight. What?
Well,
What?
honestly, you can drink it straight, but I think that my problem is that A, I haven't drank in a while, and B, I'm not entirely sure this is still good.
Alcohol, it's always good, right?
I don't know.
No, it's not.
I'm moving in behind you.
That's not true, because my brother and I once found a bottle of sloe gin in my parents' basement. It came out like syrup. We drank it anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so
Alright.
there's a point.
So our actual topic for this time is, and I'm going to let Sean start, what draws you to the world of darkness? Go.
Alright, actually, we have Morgan here, and we've overridden her mostly, so actually I'd like to start off on her. I'll pick up after her. Sounds good?
Okay. Morgan, what draws you to the world of darkness?
Putting you on the spot, our guest.
I was just happy to be invited to play a game because I no longer having a gaming boyfriend, I've been ostracized from the local gaming community, and the fact that somebody was willing to have me asking me and not him was really outstanding and awesome. So
And I will
I got
say-
to be my own person,
And I will
and not
say,
just
for
the
the,
accessory.
That's the problem. And you've
I
got
will
the
say
phone
for
on
the
that
record,
guy
Just wave at me.
biting me.
I will say for the record that I asked her before I asked the ex-boyfriend in question. So I found out at that point that I was going to have her over him, but yeah, I asked her first.
And it goes out.
All right.
Well,
So
I was just really happy to play because I hadn't played in a long time. So
all right. So it wasn't really anything in particular. Do you think you'd pick
I
it
was
up?
interested. I was interested in trying something new because I had never played anything in the World of Darkness before. I really enjoyed it. I don't know how much of the experience. I found it to be quite a bit simpler than the D20, but I don't know how much of that is actually was in the rule book and how much of it was DJ simplifying things and trying to make the podcast dynamic and movie-like and stuff by not spending time over, little nitpicky rules. And
For
stuff.
those that are curious, what happens is when you're listening to the podcast, the Dark Green podcast, what I was trying to do is make things work a certain way, and what I got
You're gonna have to start
back
soaking
from the
its
people
feet.
that had played before, that the two of the other
Build up
three
some calluses.
players, that I wasn't doing
That's
things
too
right.
bad.
I had to slowly migrate over to doing things right.
All right.
And I don't know what you could do.
Okay, so I.
So that it has breast cancer.
You swear I'd be the one I'm drinking now because my brain just died on me. Okay. Okay. But alright, so as you played World of Darkness back then, looking into it now, what sort of lines do you think you'd be interested in? Because it doesn't sound like you've been too heavy into it since you stopped playing. And hold on, wait.
Well,
You shush. You go in there. Anyways, sorry, I'm back.
well, I mean, DJ didn't want to run. He wants to be able to be a character, and I mean,
Yeah, I want a chance to play again.
yeah.
But as I keep saying about everything in life, if I want it done, I have to do it myself. So if I want, for instance, another spaceship sci-fi show, I'm going to have to make it myself.
That's your lot in life.
That kind of sucks, but that's okay, because I'm willing to make it. But,
A spaceship sci-fi show? You
sure,
didn't tell me about. Okay, we'll start next Tuesday.
I'm not ready. No, budget's too low.
Oh, so we're going to need a Kickstarter.
Yes, Kickstarter, that one.
Get on that, people.
Oh, dear.
All right. So, any other questions we want to ask Morgan on why she got into the World of Darkness?
Not, well, like she said.
It's pretty
she was,
simple.
Yeah, I was just getting into it.
It
And
was an opportunity to game,
it was
but I
specifically...
enjoyed it a lot.
And it was specifically vampire, and if the game had gone on, I'd have introduced other things to it, but it just ended up not working.
Going beyond that.
Burnt out is what happened.
All right. I can understand that. I've actually taken a hiatus from the current game I'm running because I'm at that burnout point. We got 5 stories in, and it's like, guys, I need a break. Particularly since they screwed up in who they were supposed to kill last game. That's a longer story. We will avoid that. But you figure it won't be too hard killing just one guy, particularly when, he's going around killing what looks like normal people. Nope. They had to go protect his rear for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Players, they do that. Alright, so I guess... Is it my
What drew
turn?
you to the World of Darkness?
Well, on the first episode, we kind of covered my history of how I got into it, so I'll spare you all that. If you don't know it, go watch the first episode. It's freaking funny. But as for the World of Darkness itself, are you there?
I am here.
Are you really there, or are you like...
We're
Well,
looking at the TV.
I was preparing.
Huh?
I was
I see
preparing
what he's
something for later.
preparing.
We're here.
Okay.
Go.
Nah, that's fine. Alright, so, World of Darkness. It sort of started with Werewolf, kind of hit on Vampire Mage. It was really Promethean, though, that got me into it. And before that, my primary experience with it was Dungeons & Dragons. Again, we talked about this on the first episode. And what made the World of Darkness very different, it's now to the point where my players, who have been playing Dungeons & Dragons even longer than I have because of the downtime of my mission, they refuse to go back to it. World of Darkness is their playground, is what they do. They refuse to move from anything else.
It is awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? If you want that D&D experience, World of Darkness Mirrors provides you the way to do that. So it's D&D without D&D. Yay! But yeah, what made the difference for me in those systems, though, was when I picked up Promethean and I actually gave it a proper read, I realized that this was not just a sit down and play things out. This was really much more interested in telling the story. And the story they were telling was something that never really occurred to me before. Getting into White Wolf products changed not just my roleplay experience, it changed me as a reader, as a writer, as a story consumer, period. And because Promethean, for those of you who don't know, you're playing this monster who is trying to become human. He has no human experience before, and is just trying to learn and develop until the magical forces that fuel it ultimately recognize it as, this is really dumbed down version, but recognize it as human and makes it human. And it has all these nifty little challenges. And I remember at the time, a lot of people were actually very angry at Promethean because of their issues with Disquiet or Wasteland, which basically makes the entire world go against you. And for me, that was just really fascinating. I never came across anything like that before. And it, like I said, it challenged my view on what role-playing could be. And so from there, I started picking up stuff from... Actually, my first game was Changeling the Dreaming from the old World of Darkness. And from there, I picked up the rest, and I continued reading it. And it was just such a different experience. And they've continued expanding the sort of stories you can tell in the World of Darkness. And it always has this challenge of you can sit down and play a game that is not just go around, beat people up, let go, take a break. You can sit down and tell a communal story that is meaningful, that is thought-provoking. You can tell a great story while doing this. So that's the main reason I got into it. There's a lot of other reasons, though. And if I'm going to ramble on just a little bit more and give you time to actually think on your reason, I'd say the second main reason is, well, first of all, Changeling the Lost. I can pretty much summarize it all with Changeling the Lost, but that's when we get around to talking about CTL later. And I know we're going to have a CTL specific thing. I can gush there. But I know I had more.
We can let you think too if you want.
Yeah. For me, it really did just come down to it challenged. Oh yeah, I remember what the second thing is. But yeah, so firstly, it challenged what stories could be, particularly in the role-playing genre. And secondly, it challenged me in regards to what could be said about yourself. One of the neat things about role-playing games is that it allows us to put ourselves out there and take something from an entirely fictional experience that a lot of other things touch on, like reading and video games, but doesn't give you the same sort of depth because you're just not connected. You don't control the character in the same way. And one of the unique things about the World of Darkness, I realize I'm about to piss off a lot of people with this,
Uh-oh.
but, well, okay, probably not piss off, but probably confound them and have them get angry
Well,
at
now
me.
be happy because of the kitty.
Yes.
So it equals.
Okay, so we have the cat. The cat will absolve me of my sins.
Yes.
What was really great about the World of Darkness, in particular, is that you have this world where almost everything guarantees you are to fall, to become a worse person in some way. And yet, when I read it, I kind of just got this innate challenge to create realistic characters who do suffer fallibilities, temptations, weaknesses, all this sort of stuff, but really do overcome. Every time they said, these are the problems of the world, this is what happens to people, this is how they succumb, this is how they fall, this is how they get weak, I couldn't help but read the subtext of, the game is really challenging you to prove otherwise. Play the characters right, show the challenges, but show how they overcome, how they become better, how this adversity actually improves them. And once again, this was a bit of a world change thing for me, because I never really thought of adversity in that sort of way before. So, for me, World of Darkness really was a life-changing event. It's kind of surprising just how much of my worldviews come from World of Darkness, and particularly surprisingly, my sense of optimism, dare I say, idealism, comes from the World of Darkness, because it directly challenges that.
Well, going off of that, and before I get into my...
Yeah, feel free to ask me questions.
Yeah, well, before that, you seem to be the exact type of player that I would love to have as a player, because what I have been saddled with in my area, except for Morgan here, who I have to give mad props to, I have... Okay, I have to go back a little farther, too.
Somebody got the message.
Fear the Boot, another podcast, recently had 2 episodes on people creating...
Drag myself home. The hardest part
people creating
is I did it-
evil characters, and they seem to be in a general consensus that most of them don't know how to be evil.
Well,
I suffer from the opposite problem, is I can't find people who want to create realistic characters. They want to create the death
so I'll
machine
leave about
to
4:30.
run through the game. Now, Morgan, would you say that all 3 of your compatriots in that game were nothing but death
Once I sit down, it's gone. I'm through. I'm not going.
Well,
So I'm only going about once.
There's no need to be nice.
to varying degrees, I suppose. But then again, I mean, it's
Now,
a game of vampires.
the guy that I gave the freest reign to, he created something that could be powerful, but he did it in a realistic way, and he created a 3-dimensional character. Like I said, he seemed like he got bored.
There's no way I'm going to get down to 230 before the end of
I can't seem to have a political game. I want to play a political game, and all I get is combat people.
Do a diet if you want to, but don't try to diet.
It happens, and it's just kind of, part of it is also that game was Requiem, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I actually can't say anything about the old World of Darkness mentality, because it was different between that and Masquerade. Not to say anything bad about Masquerade, but there was a difference in mentality. But it's kind of what people look at the World of Darkness as. It's an unfortunate stereotype. I am not responsible for any trouble you get for that. I am not responsible for any trouble you get for that. But anyways.
Only the viewers will get that. That is awesome. Okay.
Anyways,
sorry, go
back
on.
to back. Alright. But there is this unfortunate stereotype to the World of Darkness. People look at it, and they look at it, Vampire in the core book. I heard this a lot. It's either you have to play an emo, or you have to play an absolutely evil character. That's what the World of Darkness is going for. And I think people miss the point. I don't know why people miss the point, but they do. It's something I hear all the time. Just 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, actually a year ago, I was having this intense argument with someone about Changeling the Lost, where he was saying, you can't play that game and grow in power, because if you do, you become one of the True Fae. The True Fae are all about abuse, which is not entirely accurate, but we'll run with that. It's like, no, it's not. You are playing an abuse survivor, and unlike the True Fae, you have choice. You can choose to rise above it. It should be easy. It shouldn't be something that, comes easily. You should not be a saint coming out of the thorns. But it is something you can overcome. And that's a very interesting story to come at, and he never quite got it. So, I don't know. People look at the dark aspect, and they don't see the challenge. They don't see why that morality scale slides instead of just going straight down.
And this would relate to my vampire experience, where I think that everybody wants to play the monster, but nobody wants to play the personal horror aspect, which is what the game is actually centered around.
I think the easier way of putting it is people want to play the monster, and they don't want to play how they became the monster. The journey is important.
Which is why I'd say that if I ran a game via Google Hangouts, for instance, it would be a mortal game that might happen to turn into a supernatural game. Maybe.
Maybe. Alright. And that's definitely one of the easiest ways to start that off.
Because then it forces people to create the actual playing character before they become any sort of monster of any type.
Yeah, that's one of the virtues of the New World of Darkness, because the core book, you start off with just mortals. And so it's very easy to say, okay, we're going to start off with this. In the old world, they didn't. The closest you had to just plain mortals was hunters. And those were actually Angel Jedi or something like that. I'm going to get shot for that, but...
no, it's entirely accurate.
Angel Jedi!
Oh, this sounds pretty awesome to me.
Angel Jedi?
Angel Jedis, yeah.
Angel Jedis with the internet.
Yes.
But yeah, the New World did start off with that. And so you could make a much more natural transition. And I actually gotta say, I've laid down. I'm not intending for it, but when I get back to the game I'm running, it's a hunter game. It is humans. That said, I have laid down several trails for each player to potentially become a supernatural. I have no intention of following up on it, but if it gets to a point where they make stupid choices, weird as it is to say, and actually probably really cool, a natural consequence of playing the game really bad is you become a monster. And that actually makes perfect sense in context. So, yeah, that's me on the World of Darkness. Are you ready, or do you need to babble on more?
I'm ready. I'm born ready.
Okay, DJ Allen, what is it that drew you into the World of Darkness?
I'm going to go slightly different than what the two of you did. I'm going to go with what draws me now to the World of Darkness. And what draws me now is that it's the most closely tied thing to reality, but it's not reality. So I can play in a world I understand without too much backstory or reading up or whatever, and jump right into it. And then if something gets thrown at me, like be a werewolf or a Promethean or a zoo animal, I can just play it because I have some sort of basis for the knowledge of where that would come from. So I'm giraffe, the necking.
Well, you have to worry about playing games in Africa because there are vampire giraffes. I'm not joking.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. It also may or may not be bullshit on my part, but
Penguin the sliding.
That is yet to be developed.
There we go. Yes, yeah, we can have penguins from all different continents. So.
Or ninja de-stealthing. Ah, see, I remembered.
Yeah. Did I come up? Yeah, I came up with that one a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm old, so I don't remember these things.
I remembered it before I was. I remembered something that happened in your life before I was born.
Before you were born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
So-
that we've made it creepy.
Yeah. Well, as if my thing earlier didn't make
Yeah,
it
that was
creepy.
pretty creepy. As if having David Tennant in my shirt.
Oh
isn't
yes.
creepy.
Can you all see David Tennant right there, right in her
I'll make
cleavage?
him wave.
See, it's creepy when you have David Tennant there. If you had Matt Smith, on the other hand, it's totally okay.
What?
He's a Matt Smith fan.
Ah. Well,
David Tennant is the best Doctor,
I'll
but
bring
Matt
my
Smith
Matt
is my
Smith
favorite.
figure next time, I suppose.
Put them together.
Go in my.
Do you have a Matt Smith figure?
I do. I haven't taken him out of the box yet.
He's still in the box.
I know.
Morgan, you gotta play with him.
I know. I want to.
Okay, guys, you are going to want to see the broadcast for this next time. So,
Okay, gotcha.
2 weeks, Saturday. Come here, see a boxed Matt Smith in a girl's shirt.
Well, no, he'll be out of the box.
He'll be out of the
box and into my boobs.
Alright. So anyways. So it was the realism, the fact that you could immediately hop into the world of darkness.
Yeah, something accessible where it would take a minimum amount of understanding to play the game. And I also like White Wolf / Onyx Path / CCP / whatever's game mechanic where it's basically a percentage based thing. There's one die you need to worry about, period.
Oh yeah. I always loved that. With World of Darkness, you can very easily calculate the numbers you need for any given situation, so long as you have the player stuff in advance. And with that, you can know just how much to challenge them and what to get away with. It's fantastic. I loved the fact that that system is so nice to play with in that sense. Sorry, minor rant. You brought that up, and it's like I had to bring up how much I appreciate that. That is ingenious, White Wolf.
I was trying to create my own game system at one point, and while I'm still kind of tinkering with the idea, I keep coming back to the fact that I want to keep using the 10-sided die. Now, I'm trying to actively use other-sided die, but I can't really do it. I have a hard time letting myself do that. So I love the storytelling system so much that I don't think I can leave it.
You're addicted?
I'm addicted to something.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? There are help groups for that. Addicted to 10-sided dice. 10diceholics.com will help you out. They will help you find peace and tranquility and help you get away. Sorry, no, I actually totally completely understand that. The way dice work is you either have to go with the 6-sided dice because that's something you can grab from any game. Or you have to, the way it is these days, you either have to do that or you have to go with the one of each type because of the way people have developed. And the 10-sided die thing works a lot better because it is just it's something people can immediately grab onto in concept with the die roll. It takes them like one session to realize, okay, 8 and up, that's what I need. And I don't need any other dice. They don't go scrambling for it. I don't know if you could do that with, like, let's say, a 12-sided die.
Well, the game system I was developing, let's say you were trying to jump, okay? And obviously when you first try to jump...
I was trying to jump.
And when you first try to jump, you're not very good at it. So what you're doing is you'd be rolling a 4-sided die. 2 numbers would be a failure, 2 numbers would be a success. You achieve so many successes and so many failures, and you can move up to the next die. So then you're a 6-sided die. You have 2 numbers are a failure, but 4 numbers are a success. Again, you have to meet the success-failure requirements, and you move up to the next die. You keep the 2 failures. So basically, as soon as you hit 20-sided die, you're almost guaranteed to know how to jump correctly without looking like a complete jackass.
Which is an important thing in this world.
Yay!
Absolutely. But
I'm sorry, I just now have this image of someone jumping. Like, they're walking along, all of a sudden, jump, and they screw that up.
I tried to pick the most mundane thing that I could think of just to give you the illustration. Yeah, you could, basically, I'm trying to, like, sword fighting, you're going to swing and miss every time, swing and hit.
But you have to admit, that image of someone trying to jump in the middle of a mall and utterly failing is now just... Someone should make a video of that. So, in other news, our next Echoes Darkly podcast will take place in a mall.
Well, it could. It could.
It could.
My voice is breaking up because I'm drinking.
Now
Tipping
he's
bottles
knocking
over.
things over.
Like I said, you're the one that.
Okay.
I have no excuse, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sober as a priest.
It's funny. Elder Carter.
That's not very sober.
He eats slow. He got
Quick awkward Catholic joke. Why are altar boys' hairs part?
Yeah.
That's not a sin. Not a sin. Not a sin.
All right.
hell
For
for
those that were watching the pre-show shenanigans, what I said was that we would try to keep this to like a half hour, 45 minutes,
Are we there now?
which we're really there technically. So what I'd like to do is first establish the next broadcast time. You want
Which
to keep
is?
going the alternating weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. So then that would make it September 22nd, same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep. 8 o'clock.
Presumably that would follow the same bat Line Lords.
And next
Which
week,
means I could be here again.
yes, next week,
Yeah.
are you up for recording Doctor Who?
Oh, heck yes. Next one, I'll find out which one's next after this. We don't want to get onto that. But I will be there for the Doctor Who show.
All right.
And
Crossover!
Yay!
We'll broadcast that one live on the air, too.
Woo! Nice.
Of course. We
It's
gotta
a
do that.
It's a 2-for-1 deal, people. How can you miss this?
It is. And then our next Echoes Darkly will be September 22nd. And what would we like to discuss on September 22nd? And I think we should bring something definitive to the table now so that we can research for next time.
Well, you know what? We've gone on vampire. Why don't we talk about the effect vampires had?
On what?
Good question. Morgan, be smart for me.
Mortals.
On mortals. How about, I got an idea. How about we talk about how to play the game of vampire effectively? They are not. It's not technically a combat system, so people that want to play the combat game should not really be playing vampire.
Okay.
How
So,
not to be a douche canoe.
How not to be a douche canoe.
this is perfect.
Because we're
So,
experts on how not to be a douche canoe around here.
are you kidding? That's all we did this episode.
This one was kind of derailed, but it's. And for anybody curious, I mean, I started drinking when the broadcast started, so I mean, you literally have watched every drink I've taken.
Yeah. Editing's going to be fun for you. Fun being read a bitch.
It's not going to be too bad. But
Alright. But yeah, so...
I'm going to keep broadcasting after we close so that we get after show shenanigans for a little bit, and then we'll like.
I think that's why
stop
he's pulled up
broadcasting.
that thing on.
Yes.
Alright.
There's probably going to be some dancing involved.
Oh, there's going to be some dancing.
Will there also be someone jumping and failing at it?
I'm going to send
Maybe
you the
if
link.
I were to try to jump.
Well, okay. To
It
be
might
on
be a
show
fail.
topic, what we should do now is end the podcast,
Okay.
and I'll send you the link to what we're about to do, and then we'll have the after show shenanigans.
Alright, so, real quick, thank you, Morgan, for joining us.
Emails.
Oh, hey, Morgan's got it. Let her go.
Emails.
Start over again, Morgan.
If you have questions, comments, thoughts, anything related, I suppose, to, I was going to say,
Hair care tips.
Gathering for some reason. World of Darkness. Not Magic the Gathering, that doesn't have anything to do with this. Send them to Trump's Hair for President at Gmail. Again, I was trying to read it backwards. Gmail.com.
That's the email address to send it to. I made sure to put it on the screen so that you would all see it.
All of our lime-flavored, all of his lime-flavored questions go there. You may need to specify which podcast you're writing to. You may also need to specify that it's not personal correspondence.
Oh.
he created an issue between me and my boyfriend as a result.
So he'll get the joke, and we'll be okay, and everything will be fine. But I love the final term.
Thank you. All right, but yeah, thank you, Morgan, for joining us this
Thank you for having
podcast.
me.
All right. In the meantime, this is Sean Steele. And you, it's your line.
Echoing out?
Echoing out.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
You didn't introduce yourself.
Oh, all right. It's DJ echoing out. Morgan, are you?
Morgan Imperial echoing out.
Yeah!
Echoing out.